live comic book reviewing event on the best channel for the Phantom and for Phantom fans to be watching all about the Phantom, every content about the Phantom. And today's book that we're going to be reviewing is issue number 1952, The Phantom, the 75th anniversary edition by Frew Publications. Look at that. How big a moment is this? Awesome. How good is this? How good is this? Okay. We can start off. Look at all this. Look at this. This book literally feels like an annual. It's the same paper they use in annual, and it's probably the same. No, it's the same paper they use in the annual. Look at that. Look at that. It's the first comic there. Issue number 1 of the rarest Phantom comics in the world. And now we're at 75 years. A few publications from 1948 to 2023. And we have a amongst of sequels, a history chat with good old Kevin Patrick, articles, new stories, old stories, daily strip stories. So good. And sequels. This sequel here is done. It's The Slaves, the Woman, and the Boogeyman. A sequel to the first Lee Falk Ray Moore Phantom story, published by Frew, The Slave Traders, written and drawn by Shane Foley with colours by Ivan Peterson. The Sing Raiders is a story by Andreas Erkerson with art by Ivan Rodriguez and coloured by Daniel Jr. Then we have The Ghost of Ships Past Part 1. It's done by Andrew Constant with art and colour by Jason Paulos. We have The Undergrowth, written by Dean Rankin and art by Ivan Rodriguez, coloured by Taria Pablo. The Kiss of the Devil Part 1 by Peter Anderson with art by Guyan Caracazzo, and the colours are provided by Favia Caracazzo. And our friends, another story, Our Friends Are All on Board. It's written by and drawn by and coloured by Paul Mason. Then we have the Rack to the Ruins, 258th Phantom story, written by Tony DePaul and drawn by Mike Manley. It's published from May the 24th to 2021 to October 23rd, 2021. Then we have The Box, written by Dean Rankin and art by Jeremy McPherson, coloured by Tom Mason. Then we have a few publications of history and article written by Kevin Patrick. Okay, we have the first interior pages of the first comic book published by Frew Publications. And to celebrate to Frew's 75th anniversary, we now present a brand new sequel to that classic story. To refresh our memories, here are some of the key people and events from the Slave Traders. We have the Phantom, we have Lieutenant Brian, we have the band, the Sandtownment, we have the Ali the Slaver, and Lord Sullyman. Let's go. Bring it on. The Slaves, the Women, and the Boogeyman. A sequel to the classic 1939 Falcon Moore story, The Slave Traders. And it's in full colour. Colours provided by Ivan Peterson, and it's written and drawn by Shane Foley. Now, the first part, I've already read this, obviously, and it starts off with some women on some camel on back camel. They go past the sand hermit's place. They stay there. They're not happy. The sand hermit is always not happy. And there's a lady there and says, "Just no." Meanwhile, at the hospital, the Phantom is still worried about Diana. "I'll bring you back in a week or so." Who would have believed it? Who would have believed it? Of all the hermit huts in all the time he world, in this tiny world, she has to be dropped at mine. And this person here must have been his wife or something. "So why are you out here anyway?" "Leonette, was what happened to that rich husband you left me for. None of your business. You can stay a little while, I guess." A desert outpost of Lieutenant Brian. "Thank you, Corporal. Come on, old friend. Let's see if we can get our minds off that girl." Then there's a story, and it says, "We were traveling across the desert, and we were attacked by slavers. Jamal and my 2 sons were killed, and my daughter Farah was taken as a slave. I pleaded to go with her, to look after her as an attendant. And after a while, I heard things. Men like Ali and Salomon always think a woman is stupid, and as if we understand nothing, that they didn't care what I heard. But I heard secrets the Westerners will want to know. Take me, please." And so the Phantom is at a prison cell. The Phantom finds himself still at a loose end. "Diana shouldn't have come here. I should be near her, you. Hey, boogeyman, you've paraded me round on a leash like a dog, Ali the slaver. Don't think you can just walk away from something like that. I wonder how she is today." Then we have a little bit of a chat. There's a chat with some army people. The Phantom is on a plane. He's drugged, falls asleep. There's a prison outbreak. They take Ali the slaver with him. They try to work out, and there's the wife there. They try and work out how to get him out. They put him in a termite mound to try and kill him out in the sand. The Phantom is back and says, "The ghost who walks. But that is not all. To further show the greatness of our Lord Suleiman, we have also captured the ghost who walks." The Phantom is in contact with very, very evil slave type people. He battles his way through everything, and he's nearly free. He is freeing Ali the slave man, and when everything feels okay, then army man comes back. "That's not what this is about, and you know it. You broke it into our military outpost and freed our prisoner, and you kidnapped the Phantom. We are here to be taking both back." There's the Phantom still at work and in his own psychotic way. But where's Ali? He's trying to get away. The Phantom is trying to get back to him, and he falls off the horse. Ali has a person, and he's trying to kill her. This person, a lady, is saying, "I'll show you, expendable. Well done, woman." Ali man goes down. He's back in prison, and the Phantom and the lady leave early that morning. with the sand hermit. The lady and another lady leave early that morning. And what about you? Off to try and see Diana? And I think I'm over my moping around. I still won't be allowed to see her yet. Anyway, if I may, I think I'd like to accompany Ali to Alexandria. He'd love that. Extra security if you like. Sounds good to me. Besides, I've heard there are good curio shops in Alexandria. I might even find something nice at Diana there. And find a curio shop he does, as well as a mysterious girl. But that's a story for another day. And off he goes. And now we have The Sing Raiders. It's written by Andreas Reckerson. It's provided by Ivan Rodriguez and colored by Daniel Jr. A very, very first thing you think of is that the color is beautiful. And it is beautiful. One last thing on this story. It feels like the sequel to the first Slavers, the first story that was ever published by the Phantom, by the few publications. It feels like this story wasn't really needed. It felt like this story was like it. You know how some movies, and you get a sequel of the movie, and it's better than the first. It's better than the last one. Like the first one was really, really good, and then they make a second one, and if they make another one after that, it slowly gets better and better with each movie. Well, I'm not saying Shane Foley's art is bad, not at all. His stuff is awesome. Just I don't think that this particular story needed to be made. Like you have you can have some sequels that are very, very good, and that's awesome. But for some stories, original stories don't need to be tampered with. I reckon the original story for this sequel did not need to be tampered with. It did not need another sequel. It was fine how it is. It was fine how it was. But now we have a sequel, and that's so awesome. That's okay. I just think that the original story was good on its own, as Lee Falk had intended it, which we now know that we now have a sequel that we now have to read as well. So we have The Jungles of Bengala, 1875. There's some people in this jungle and they're not doing great things. Boom. The Phantom is upon us. Run for your lives. It's the Phantom, but it's not the Phantom we all know. Father would have been proud if he'd seen that shot. The colours are awesome, by the way. And there's this very, very strong person. And he says, now go catch the slaves, or I will make you wish you were in the grip of the Phantom. I hope this time will finally deter those slave traders. Their reign of terror must end. This would be so much easier if my brother was back from his trip. Help, help! Julie Walker is the Phantom. No, yeah, Julie Walker's the Phantom. A young woman. The raiders have caught up with her. We must help her. Let's go, Flash. So that's one. Tie her down. The Phantom, or Julie Walker, helps. And she's then captured. And she's interviewed by this guy who thinks he's strong, but really isn't. And this other lady who was tied up before betrays Julie Walker and has her foot on her face. It seems that I have to do everything myself, and that the woman that was tied up before, is actually the captain of this slave traders. What a nuisance you have been, but that isn't over now. You've reached the end. And then it is, hey Danko, yeah, did you know that she was our commander? No. We should have been in a lot of trouble if we had killed her, and we were trying to catch her. I don't think we could have killed her. Yeah, well, I still think it's dumb idea and unknown commander. Everyone warned me about going to Bengala, where Singh's greatest enemy resides. I thought it was just superstition, but when you attacked my men, I have to say I did not expect the infamous phantom to be a woman. I am impressed. You have achieved much, making my capture of you significant. How can you have a headquarter here in the heart of the city? It wasn't difficult to persuade the authorities to look the other way. In exchange for a pretty penny, you were making slave trading a costly endeavor, but with you out of the way, we will fill our ships and then move on to the other countries before we have outstayed our welcome. You're still just a pirate, and to think I had sympathy for you. I was once taken from my family by a Simba slave raiders, but that was long ago. And she tells a backstory, and that they gave her, and that she swore everlasting allegiance to the Singh organization. I will without question follow all orders. I will assist my brothers in the hour of need, and keep only my fair share of the treasure. And I will never disclose any of the Brotherhood's secrets. I accept a fate worse than death should I break any of these promises. To seal your oath and kids, kiss the blade and be able to intend it to just get out of the bad situation, escape when I got the chance, but I just stayed, I was good, that at what I did, I rose the ranks in the way Sing leaders do. Now I control single slave routes in East Africa and Asia too. With slavery banned in America, this is our primary market. And I thought that I was bad at singing. And I think I still am bad at singing. Probably good that I don't venture into that. And then after that, there's two phantoms, and they both help each other escape their situation. And the phantom is in and out of a battle. He is gone. He is out. No, he is going for a swim. The phantom, he's helping Julie Walker in this dire situation. Then, all of a sudden, the Jungle Patrol are here. The Bengalian, we're here, Bengala Town charge. Blast. We're too late. Our reputation is tarnished. It's the American cavalry. That's always on time. That's always on time, Colonel Bernhard. We have no such obligations. Technically, this is outside of our jurisdiction, and if only the commander could have reached us quicker. That is, even though the battle is already won, we may still be of some use. Right, patrolman, leave these citizens of their duties and arrest these pirates. Aye, aye, sir. Later, and the ghost came here, and there was so much evil. He split in two and defeated it. Oh, ghost, you say? So anything besides this ghost talk? Anything else useful? Apparently they were led by a woman. Only a handful knew that she was their unknown commander. We have her in custody with the rest. Bravo, Linda Miranda. Wait, what's your name, miss? For the testimony. What do you think about the unknown commander? Any other connection to our own one? Yeah, for all I know, Colonel, that young lady who rode off could have been our unknown commander. And then, at the end of this story, there's a thrilling tribute and flashback to the story called The Pirate Queen. And the Phantom says, I was too naive, too gullible. I've noticed that you haven't been yourself lately. The Julie I know is trusting, loving to a fault. But the Phantom can't be fooled so easily. So easily. I have to change. But you don't have to change. Not like that. I've changed since I put on the mask, and I want to spare you that. I am the Pirate Queen. Marry me. And that's from issue number 1374. And by the way, we've got some Christmas music in the background, and it's very, very well and very, very good. I've sworn an oath to combat privacy and injustice. Being with you would break that. But we love each other. To be a phantom means to forsake many things. Things you should experience, Julie. Mary, it's so good to see you again. Yes, likewise. Kit wants to meet us. Aunt Julie, let's go then. What were you going to say? Perhaps another time. Let's enjoy the good times while they last. And the end. Good end to the story. Thrilling story. We have a book for discerning we have a book and an ad for discerning Phantom fans. You can get all these books at phantomcomic.com.au. Varying in prices. So we have this yacht, and it's going to be soon overtaken by smugglers or pirates. Ghosts of ships past. Captain, he sees a ship. There's all these pirates have gone past, and they are taking everything that's on this other yacht. The Phantom comes in with an absolute magnificent, beautiful splash page by Jason Paulos. The Ghosts of Bruises yet to come. He's really not. But he's not here anymore. They're only you, thugs, and me, the Ghost of Bruises yet to come. That's the part where it's fairly funny. So tell me, how the rest of the raid will play out. Firstly, we've bound up the passengers and crew. We hold them on the deck and see what's good and see what we can sell. We do the same with all the money and valuables we find. At some point we'll get a buzz from the captain of Maine. Seems like a decent haul, although where are the rest of my men? I would like to expected all the searches to be completed by now. I don't know, Captain, I do. They are all having a lovely little nap towards the leaf of yours truly. You've had a very successful run, it ends now. And bam bam, clang clang, boom boom, pow pow. Bang bang, bam bam, boom boom, pow pow, bang bang, flash flash. And he's trying to get away. Feels like I'm being led into a very dangerous spiderweb. But I ain't no flyer. Last time, we've never met. We haven't, but you have met the rest of my family. I've got you dead to rights. It's over. I seem familiar. A weapon very much like this one used to be used to belong to my mother. No, it can't be. I saw her dive into the brutal sea. Captain Cleaver is your mother. No, Captain Cleaver is my son's name now. I am his commander. I am Commander Cleaver, and I will have my revenge. My sweet, sweet revenge. 2 ships, a crew, murder, treasure. I was a great pirate. Look at these colorings. Look at this color. Awesome. Look at the detail. Even awesomer. And look at this splash page. Fantastic. Fantastic. But then you came along, and you and your little friend. You look so silly, so small, but you were so good. You were very good, and you took my crew, my ship, and my sword. You took everything. Kid Phantom issue number 3. It is great to see the Kid Phantom stories being used in a different way, and Kid Phantom stories being introduced to another audience in this bright year of 2023. You destroyed my life. No, you did, when you chose this life. Even worse, that you dragged your own flesh and blood into it. Don't you dare insult my mother. But he gave me the greatest gift of possible, only to the disease take him. My son, who I raised to be better than his father and me, who I will soon share the crowning achievement of my career with. I think I can guess what that is. Why guess, when you can experience it? Looks like you're about to make some new friends. I can see that. This is an area is famous for them. After you're done, I think I'm going to take the cruise liner as a second ship. I miss having 2, and my son deserves his own space. Any last words? When my time comes, I will have some. But that day is not today. And just as we thought, it was getting so damn good, so brave, so wrong, so dead, to be continued. How good? Not really. Phantom's going in the water, the shark's about, and particularly, he may have a knife. Usually in this situation, where the Phantom has been dealing with sharks most of his life, and most of the comic book stories that we've read, some comic book stories feature sharks, he has a knife in his boot, and he pulls it out, and he absolutely just gives a little bit stabby, sharky. And then we have, for generations, the Bengala jungle has been under the protection of the Phantom, and we have that undergrowth, but hidden in its undergrowth is dangers lurk. Amazing colours here, by the way, amazing colours. Daniel Jr. has done a fantastic job. But the golden poison frog, it contains enough poison to kill 10 people. What the? You shouldn't touch the frog. You shouldn't touch them. And he dies. He is gone. At first, the assassin is relieved as he lands on something soft, but then starts to sink into the earth. For generations, the Bengala jungle has been under the protection of the Phantom, and sometimes the jungle protects him back. Careful, devil, don't want you falling in. The jungle can be a dangerous place. But there's no one there to help. As the last of him sinks into the quicksand, the Phantom enters the clear and says, "Careful, devil, don't want you falling in. The jungle can be a dangerous place. For generations, the Bengala jungle has been under the protection of the Phantom, and sometimes the jungle protects him back." Then we have a new story, The Phantom, the Kiss of the Devil. Writer Peter Anderson, the art is provided by Guy Caracozzo, and the colorist is Fabia Caracozzo. And this story here also continues in another book that was published after this book, and this is part 2 of this story here, and we'll be having a look at this book tomorrow night on Wednesday, on the 5th day of live comic book reviews at Phantom Cave Reviews. There's this ship, and it's being attacked by missiles, torpedoes to be exact. There's this other scientist, and a group of pirates want this scientist. They take the scientist on board. The Phantom gets involved with it. He tries to go find out what's happening. There's 2 boys. They see a torpedo, and they go and warn someone. No one really believes them. The Phantom comes, and this feels like a 1940s pulp action goodness right here. So good. The seedy sailor goes to the seedy sailor, talks to a few people. They don't want to put any information out. He talks to the boys, and they tell him all they need to know. He goes to this certain bar, and he meets this older type lady. Then meets a captain that he has a skull mark on his face, and the Phantom says, "No, why?" "But you can't be anybody I know. You know why." "No, why?" Talks to this guy. "Because I don't know any milk drinkers. You should try it. Good for the complexion. Ha ha ha. I'm just messing with you, buddy." "Oof." "Wunk. I'm so sorry. Oh, the guy at the tuxedo rental won't be happy when I return this. There you are, you must be Mr. Jackson, who wanted to see me. Jesus, disdain. So, you didn't want to see me. Well, it's nice to meet you, miss, but I must have mistaken me for somebody else. The name's Sterling, Jim Sterling." So this dude here, he's secretly a police officer from what do you call that place in London? I can't remember it. Station agent? No. I'll remember it at some point. The girl tries and fancies him, tries to get him to tell a secret, and she's trying to get him drunk, and then he says, "Oh, what the hell, let's get out of here." So they go and try to have a little bit of hoo-ha, and then this other lady's still trying to come onto the Phantom, and the Phantom quickly tries to follow the 2 people. Then this guy that the Phantom had just met crashes him onto the face, then tries to kill him. The Phantom stops him, and he says, "Guns are dangerous things. You have to be careful. You! Do you know what that man, Skipper? Who is it? Yeah, I've met the freak before, more than 20 years ago. Really, he still looks quite useful, despite that weird mask. He's the one who gave me this damn mark. And now I'm going to give you another skull mark." So he punches him on the other side of the face, and now the guy has 2 skull marks. "Are you okay?" "No, but I will be eventually." And he tries and gets them. He shoots. He doesn't score. He tries and gets them. He loses them. And we go into part 2, where there's an island of all sorts. Then we have a Phantom in Vietnam story, and our friends are all aboard. So this story here, I'm just gonna do this quickly. So this story here sort of reminds me of like an 80s cinematic synth electronic type movie. It just reminds me of a movie from the 80s. It's like got that synth electric synth music going up in the background, and it's 80s retro music going up in the background, and it just looks amazing. The Phantom is in Vietnam. He's in this Mini Cooper, and this guy is driving him. The Phantom takes over. He blam bam blams some troops. Then this guy gets fairly scared, doesn't know who he is. The Phantom, and then the Phantom gets out and says thank you. And that's the end of that story. Rack and Ruin at Gravelines, and we have the start of the epic 2022nd Phantom Saga. The Colonel's visits the Phantom at a secret location. The Phantom is talking to him. Phantom goes home, talks to Diana. Old Man Moz has a prophecy is about to begin. He tells the Phantom of this story that is the way that the Phantom might be passing away at Graveline's prison when he goes to save Savannah Devi. He saves Savannah Devi, and everything goes to pear-shape afterwards. And after that, the Phantom potentially passes away. They go to this veterinary where the Phantom tells Savannah Devi where his son is. Then we know what else happens. We all know what happens next. And we have the last story called The Phantom Star in the Box. Phantom says this jungle, there's Jeep happening, there's a box in the back of it, big bam and gun. The Phantom, there's a plane waiting, he gets the box, and basically there's no dialogue. And it's beautiful. Beautiful art by Jeremy McPherson, written by Dean Randkind, and then we find in the box that there's a rhinoceros in there. And this story is a beautiful story, and it connects back to how people take advantage of animals and they poach them only for their skin, especially like in endangered rhinoceros, endangered rhino, white rhinos, and people they literally take a rhino's nose or horn and think that they're going to try and make some money out of it. And they make money out of animals and they exploit animals, and then we wonder at the end of all of this, we wonder why some of these animals get extinct, because people take advantage of animals, and then we try and save them, and then it's too late to try and save them. So we blame ourselves for people taking advantage of animals. And poaching is not a good thing. Poaching is definitely not a good thing. Poaching should be one of the things that should not be allowed in this current world and current time. And I hope at some point we might be able to see potentially extinct animals that were in the back in the past. We might be able to see them in this current time, because there's been research, as I like to keep up with, and I like to research a lot of things. So there's been research where they're trying to get a certain DNA from an extinct animal, such as the woolly mammoth, and they're going to try and bring the woolly mammoth back to life. And if that then works, they're going to try and do that to other animals who are already extinct, such as the dodo bird and the Tasmanian tiger as well. And then there's also other research that they're going to try and cure the Tasmanian devil, because Tasmanian devil has a particular type of bacteria that grows, and it's sort of like a cancer type thing, and the Tasmanian devil gets it, and it can't fight it because it's very deadly, and in most certain cases the Tasmanian devil passes away, which is very, very sad. And yeah, poaching is definitely not good. It should be stopped at all costs, and we should definitely not be taking advantage of animals. just for our own purposes and our own greed. It should never happen. Should have never actually happened. So we also have an history article wrote by Kevin Patrick. It's about early years of the Phantom being in Australia throughout the last 75 years, a few publications publishing the Phantom. And it's a very good article by Kevin Patrick, and then it has sort of like an index of some of the potential comic books that were published in Australia by few publications throughout the last 75 years. And then we have a subscribe thing. I've already read that multiple times on the channel, and if you want to, you can go to this website at phantomcomic.com.au to subscribe to the Phantom. $208 per year, and they come very, very well. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this very, very long, extensive comic book review of the Phantom, the Frew publications, Frew 75th anniversary, the Phantom, issue number 1952, 180 pages of absolutely awesomeness. And as always, keep Phantom Caving, stay safe. We will be reviewing 3 more comic books tomorrow on Wednesday, so stay tuned for that. And they will be as follows. We will be reviewing these 3 Phantom comic books, so stay tuned for that tomorrow on Wednesday. Excellent cover by Marcelo Bates. And as always, keep Phantom Caving, stay safe, and there will be a live episode of The Enthusiast, episode 10 being on. I will be going live with episode 10 of The Enthusiast at 7:30 p.m. tonight on the 19th of December. So as always, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching this review of this 75th anniversary of Frew publications. A legendary statement from Frew publications in publishing the Phantom in Australia. And as always, keep Phantom Caving, stay safe, and bye!